Hey everyone, welcome to our Spring 2021 recruitment info session. We're so excited to get to know you throughout our recruitment process, and we hope you all decide to apply and join our Plex family. And then going on to the next slide, for a quick overview of what you can expect from this info session, we'll be starting off by talking about our mission and about ourselves, Plextex, and then guide you through our online application recruitment process and have a Q&A at any time so that you guys can ask us any questions you'd like. And then on the next slide, Plextex was created last year with the goal to evolve innovative UC Berkeley students into industry leaders. We strive for education through our curriculum pathways, inclusivity through engaging socials and networking events, and excellence through our club culture. And then we pair our members with high growth companies to allow them to develop software for their tech stack or business operations. We've successfully completed projects with 3 clients last semester and have grown our portfolio to include new companies this semester too. We also have external technical workshops and internal events planned throughout the semester that allow any of our new members to network with industry developers and expand their software skill set at the same time. This lets us host a unique social presence, which we'll dive into later too.
And with that, I'll start to introduce the industry side of our projects, of our club, sorry. So basically in industry, I'll move on right here. You're going to be working on a team of around 1 to 2 PMs. Most of the projects have 2, 4 to 6 developers and 1 to 2 mentors. So these mentors are actually going to come directly from the companies that we're working with. So you're going to get the chance to get some really direct support from the companies that we're working with. And it's a pretty, sort of personal sort of connection that you have with the companies, and we'll be walking you through the whole process, teaching you software and techniques you may not know, and making sure that you're getting the most out of your experience as a developer. So the workload it's a pretty standard workload for development, 8 to 12 hours a week, so nothing too insanely crazy. And before we sort of jump more into the more specifics, if I can just give one sentence of like a summary of like what your experience would be, I'd say it's basically just like an internship where you'd have the same sort of support network and people making sure that you learn while you're doing your work, but it's a lot more of a social presence. Like instead of what maybe at an internship, you're not really as connected to your company as a whole, it's kind of with the people that you're working with closely, but in Plextex, you'll be with the whole club and you'll be a part of one huge family, and we'll all be here to support you and make sure that you're getting the most out of your experience and the most out of your time in the development cycle. So I guess to start off, we're basically going to be starting off with the onboarding process and getting you guys used to being in like Plextex, sort of like learning how we work and like what we do. On a more specific notes, that's going to be probably around somewhere between February 10th to February 15th. In that range, we're going to have our official club social where everyone in the club's going to be getting together and like hanging out, having fun, just like vibing all around. And you'll also be having some team socials with your development teams, making sure that you guys sort of like gel together before you start jumping into the actual work. So that actual work is going to start, it's going to be from week 2 to week 8, so February 15th to March 22nd. In that range, your development's going to work in these coordinated sprints that have already been decided by your project managers. They've been working really hard with the companies that are with our clients to make sure that we have this fully detailed schedule and that the whole plan is laid out and we know what we're going to do for these sprints. So then you can be going through these sprints, and then at the end of that, those first 3 sprints, you'll have your first mid-semester review. So in this review, you're basically just going to cover what you've done so far, what you're planning on completing later, and what you've learned so far from the project. So it's sort of just like a check-in, like a formal check-in. Obviously, in those sprints, you're going to be working with your companies, so you'll have more informal check-ins. Like last semester, a lot of clients had weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings to sort of acclimate the developers to the environment that they have. Then after that, we're going to be jumping into like the tail end of the development cycle. You're going to have your 4th to 6th sprints. And this time it'll be sort of finishing up the project and making sure everything's working smoothly. And that's all going to lead up towards your final project review. So this is kind of like the big thing at the end, where you're going to be showing off the whole product and what you've worked on throughout the semester in a clear, presentable way to the company, making sure that everything sort of works together pretty well, and that everyone is on board with what you guys have learned so far. You can also be talking about reflections, like what you learned, what you hope to learn in the future, what could be done to make this product better, and so forth. So yeah, it's a pretty in-depth cycle. It's pretty well thought out cycle. Your PMs have already put in all the work. It's just going to be you guys sort of working together with your team very closely and making sure that you guys get this work done. And it's going to be pretty fun. So now I'll pass it over to the actual PMs of the clients that we're working with. I will pass it on over to I think we have Shivan here and Jacob from Intern Pursuit wanting to talk about what they're going to be doing this semester. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Shivan. I'm one of the co-PMs for Intern Pursuit this semester. To summarize, Intern Pursuit is basically a intern management platform where employers can find suitable employees and interns for their company based on certain criteria, and students can better connect with the companies and the jobs that they really want to pursue. This semester, we're going to primarily be working in MERN-Stack, which consists of MongoDB, Express.js, Node.js, and React. And we're trying to recruit for front-end, back-end, and ML developers. So we have a lot planned for you guys this semester. Great mentors on the team, and we'd love to have you. So if you're interested, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, and next I'm going to pass it over to, I think Rith is going to be talking about Central and what we're going to be doing with them.
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Rithvik. I'm Plextex Vice President of External Affairs, one of the people responsible for putting together our client projects every semester. Really, really excited about all of our projects this semester. With Central specifically, Central is actually the largest client that we've worked with so far. They've finished their Series B funding. They've worked with huge companies like the NFL, Google, all these big companies. They kind of use Central and rely on Central. So pretty big company, and we actually have like direct access to their engineering team and their CTO, who's actually going to be the mentor for this project. So that's really, really exciting. For Central, we're going to be building basically a backend tool to be able to help facilitate the network of companies that they work with. So each person or company that buys their product basically gets put into like this network that they have exclusively for like Central partners and clients. And we're going to be helping them kind of develop a tool to kind of like help streamline that process and make it easier for companies to connect and to build like profiles for these companies. So think of like think of setting up a LinkedIn page for your company, like on LinkedIn, but like not on LinkedIn. We're going to be doing it like on our own, setting it up on their platform. And there are a lot of factors involved with that. So it's a really cool project. They have a ton of support that they're going to provide us, and we're going to be working directly under the mentorship of their CTO. And the PMs for this project, who aren't here, I think right now, are Karan and Albert. Super, super cool people.
All right, thanks for that. Next, we'll pass it over to Akshat, who's going to talk about Intellects and what we're going to be doing with them.
Hey guys, my name's Akshat. I was a club president last year, and now I stepped down to a PM role at Intellects. Basically at Intellects, this is a legal company that identifies basically trying to evolve the common contract terms for how you analyze contracts and do contract generation. So it's disrupting the human element to negotiations, essentially. And what we're going to do for Intellects this semester is a bunch of natural language processing and machine learning. So if you're interested in any of that, I think Intellects would be a great place for you. We'll also probably have some kind of databasing and some kind of client that connects to that database. So there will be a fair amount of systems and web development going on at Intellects. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure to indicate that in your application. So yeah, that's Intellects.
All right, cool. So I think I'll pass it on to
Passing on to Luke.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Luke, who's going to talk about the last company we have, Thrift.
Hey guys, I'm Luke, and I'm going to be a PM for Thrift this semester. So essentially what Thrift is, it's a curated marketplace for the second place clothing and accessories from thrift and vintage stores. It's a controlled marketplace that is really focused on sustainability as well as affordability. So their primary goal is to make secondhand shopping safe, inclusive, fun, as well as affordable. So a fun fact, the company was actually founded last year by UC Berkeley students, and they recently dropped out and they were accepted into the Y Combinator winter batch. So when you think about YC, think of companies like Airbnb, DoorDash, and Twitch, which were all originated from the Y Combinator. So I think it's really exciting that our club gets an opportunity to work with a fast-paced startup. So in terms of what we're looking for, we really want developers who can adapt to the fast-paced nature of this kind of startup and work in a cohesive team of just 5 people. So if you would like to work in a small group environment, if you want to work directly with a CTO at a startup, and if you have a lot of time commitment, and yeah, if you're able to put forward a lot of time and efforts into making this project successful, then please come join us at Thrift. And I'm going to pass this on to Avery, who's going to talk a bit more about the project scope.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. So I'm Avery. I'm the other PM for this project this semester. I think he mentioned like Thrift is very customer oriented for their customers shopping on their platform. So the way we play into that as Plextech, the high level goal of our project is going to be improving their all around conversion, as well as increasing their user retention and engagement on the website. So specifically what this looks like, we're going to be building out their recommendation algorithm. So when it recommends products to users based off their like previous habits and products they've bought, we're going to be integrating their search engine, likely with Algolia, which is a really nice streamlined search API. We're going to be improving their web scraping algorithm, which is how they actually bring products onto their website. And additionally, we're going to be porting mobile features from their app onto the website as well. The tech stack we're working with is going to be React Redux on the front end, Python Flask on the back end, and then we're going to have some other libraries mixed in there along the way, like Stripe, Segment, stuff like that. And we don't expect anyone to know all of these technologies coming in. There's definitely going to be like a learning curve to this as we pick up new technologies as we go. This is an accelerated timeline project, though. We're going to be moving a little bit faster than the other projects, like Luke mentioned. And as part of that, we're going to be reviewing applications for Thrift specifically on a rolling basis. So that basically means if you apply and you're interested in Thrift, make sure to indicate that in your application. There should be an additional info section. So make sure you mention you're interested in Thrift, and we'll fast track your application based on our team's needs. So that means apply sooner rather than later. Yep, that's it.
What's up? That sounds good. We'll pass it on to Shaunak now to talk about curriculum and how that's going to work.
Yeah. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I can't turn on video right now, but hi, I'm Shaunak. I'm the VP of Curriculum, and I'm here to talk about the curriculum side of our club and what we do, basically. So we have 2 tracks for curriculum, which are machine learning and data science and full stack development. So first, like when you join the club, join the curriculum team, you'll be split up into one of these tracks. You get to indicate a preference, of course. And this one is actually new for this semester, machine learning and data science. And we're really excited about it. It'll be a lot of fun. For prerequisites, we ask some introductory Python knowledge, such as CS61A, and some linear algebra too, like Math 54 or E16A. And finally, some stats experience and knowledge, like AP Stats, or like an equivalent, like a stats course at Berkeley. And so the curriculum team, you'll have to attend 2 lectures a week, probably Tuesday and Thursday, both of them 90 minutes around. and the workload is around 6 hours a week. So this is equivalent to around a 2-unit decal. And these lectures will probably be a combination of concurrent, like, or like over Zoom in the real time, and recordings. You'll probably have a combination of the two methods. And yeah, you'll have flexibility. You'll have to attend these lectures and then work on some small assignments on the side, leading up to a final project that you do at the end of the semester. So for machine learning and data science, the track, you start off learning in week 1, you start off learning NumPy and Pandas, and then you go on to Matplotlib and SQL, and then you start off, that's just the data science portion, and then you move on to more ML. So you learn scikit-learn, you learn classifiers, regressors, and some more advanced methods, some decision trees, neural nets. And so that's basically how the first 6 weeks go. And then afterwards you learn a bit about unsupervised learning. And then finally, this is when we get to the part where you work on your final projects. So you're going to split into teams and decide your projects. And then finally, you get a couple of weeks to work on the projects until you present them at the end of the semester. Could you go to the next slide? Yeah, okay, so our next track is full stack web development. The logistics are very similar to the ML and data science track. There's fewer prereqs. Only one is introductory Python, just like CS61A. And similarly, 2 90-minute lectures a week, Tuesday and Thursday, and workload also around the same, 6 hours a week. So it's also a combination of lectures and assignments. And in this one, especially, you start off learning HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and then you learn React, Node, MongoDB, Firebase, Django, and Flask. Yeah, could you go to the next slide? Okay, so then, yeah, so in full stack development especially, there's a lot of tools that you're learning here. And since there's so much to cover, we obviously don't go into too much depth, but it's really cool if you want to learn all these new tools and technologies that are very useful in industry. So after learning all of this, then you again go to the project matching phase, where you get in groups and your project decided, and then you just work on your projects for a couple of weeks until you present at the end of the semester. So again, you learn a lot of tools through the curriculum track, whether you're in ML data science or in full stack web development, and get a lot of exposure to some very important, very helpful industry tools that will help with both internships and research like through the college, and also specifically, it'll help you become part of the industry team at Plextex. It'll really prepare you for these industry consulting projects. So yeah, I highly encourage you guys to try out to apply to the curriculum track if you're interested. It's also a good way to just be in the club and join the club so that in the future you could, if you're interested in joining the industry track. And now actually I'll pass it on to some of the curriculum students who have been working hard on their projects throughout the end of the semester and a bit over the break. And yeah, this is just an opportunity for some of our curriculum students to present what they've been working on. Could you just go to the next slide? Yeah, I mean, these are just some of the tools again. But now, any of the curriculum students who'd like to go first?
Yeah, I'll get away first. So I'm actually just gonna first talk about my experience with the curriculum track and why I recommend the curriculum track to people. So if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, definitely recommend applying to the curriculum track. So I'm a freshman this year, so I took 61A in the fall along with the curriculum track. So definitely found it manageable as long as you have some like grasp on some programming concepts like classes, things like that, you should be just fine. And first of all, when I was applying to clubs at Berkeley, like I had heard all these rumors about how toxic the recruitment, everyone's recruitment experience was. And after like attending a bunch of the different socials and events put out by other clubs, like I just felt very comfortable with the people here. And I also just really like the flexibility that this club offered. Like, you know, once you come into the curriculum track, you know, you have a lot of different paths that you can take. You can continue on, maybe take the other. So if you start in with the full stack one, you could go into the ML one. And if you would like to try your hand at being a project developer, you know, you can go on to do that. And also as a freshman, I wasn't really sure like how much of a time commitment or how much I wanted to like, how much of a workload I wanted to take on in my first semester. But the curriculum track was perfect for me because it was a modest time commitment, definitely worth it. I'm still friends with the people that I met in the club. We talk regularly, and I definitely picked up some new skills that I continue to use outside of school as well. I was inspired by the stuff that we learned to go learn mobile app development, which uses some of the same technologies, but and it also like helps, it gives me a little insight into my major because CS is a very broad field, and this allows me to get experience like in a particular field within CS. And yeah, I definitely am going to be continuing on with Plextech, and if you could relate to anything I said, definitely recommend going this route.
Awesome. Does any other curriculum student want to like showcase their project and like what they've wrote? They may want to talk about their experiences a little bit from last semester.
Yeah, I can go next. So I guess this we're like showing my team's project. So just to give a little intro, so hey guys, my name is Dylan. I'm also a freshman like Preeti, and yeah, I agree with like a lot of things that she said. Definitely coming into Berkeley without like much full stack experience through the track, like that's definitely where I got like my first exposure to a lot of like all these different stacks, learning all these different technologies, and like especially through the project, I think I really like got a good foundation for like the different parts of like full stack development, React, Node, Express, all those different things, like integrating all that together. And then I guess that we can show you that like now in our project. So I guess my other team members want to introduce themselves.
Hey guys, my name is Shay, and I also worked with Dylan on this
Wait,
project.
Shay, I think your audio.
Oh,
or
is
is
my
it
audio
me?
not working?
No, it's good. It's good for me.
It's good.
Okay. Yeah. I also worked with Dylan on this project, and I'm a second year student at Berkeley, and I learned a lot just throughout the curriculum track and being able to sort of apply the skills that I learned on our final project.
Wait,
I'm not sure if I can-
sorry, could we enable screen sharing so that some of these
Oh,
Yeah,
students
it is enabled.
plan
it should be enabled.
demos and
Yeah, it should be enabled for everyone.
oh,
All
okay.
the students. Yeah.
Okay, so could you guys run a quick demo if you can, just to show us what your project is about?
Before Dylan starts screen sharing, I also work with Dylan and Shay on this project. My name is Saisran, and I'm a second year student. And adding on to what Shay said and Dylan said, I thought like you really learn a lot like in all the lectures and like all the Zoom meetings that you go to. And I thought it would just be like another club where I kind of just like, I guess, attended meetings, didn't really learn much, but you really do learn a lot. And going in, I didn't know like anything about web development or like how to make apps or anything. And like at the end, we were really able to make like a cool project, I guess, that you'll see.
Yeah, I think Dylan's working on sharing his screen right now.
Okay, sure. And just to plan things, how about next? Could we have someone from Streakers?
Oh wait, sorry. Did my team already talk about the project? I can show it now if
Oh yeah,
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, yes. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened to my
just
audience.
while set up, let's just plan like a general order. Yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
All right. So just a quick overview of the wait. Did you guys already talk about the overview of like what we did?
Oh no.
Okay. So we created an app called Budget Hub, which is essentially a full stack web app allowing college students to kind of track their purchases, manage their budgets, and kind of make like small like analytical reads based on your purchases and like maybe some recommendations for you to do. So Saiswan wants to talk about like his login section.
Yeah, so what I worked on was like the login stuff, and the way I did this was using Firebase. So I kind of just like made two web pages, I guess, the registration page and the login page, and I linked the registration page and the login page both to Firebase, and Firebase kind of does a lot of the work for you here, and most of the work is just like the CSS, I guess, the styling of the website, and both of these are things that like you learn in the full stack student track, and they're both things that like they're really useful, and I think like you can use them outside of just this club.
So yeah, going into our demo, so we can make an account. We can call the name Plextech, and then give an email address. And so just to reload the account and get it working, we needed to just relog in really quick. And once we do that, we'll be able to have like full access to the account. Okay, so as you can see, this is our dashboard, like our main page. And we can scroll through different weeks, for example, to see the kind of purchase we have. Right now, there's no purchases. So that's why our status report is like nothing's happening. Maybe like it's recommending you to make some purchases to get it working. We have some like toggling visualizations here to see the kind of purchases you made. And going next, we'll talk about a little bit about like how we can add purchases and how that kind of works in our backend.
Yeah, so now that we're at like the add purchase screen, the user is able to input text into these different fields. And then once we click the add purchase button, it essentially creates a purchase object, which is then stored into like our backend. And so our backend is built using Express.js, Node.js, and MySQL databases. So basically once Dylan hits like the add purchase button, it's going to send a request to the backend, and that's going to insert that data into our purchase database with the same user ID as the Plextech account that he just created. And then once he exits this, a request is automatically sent to the backend to fetch the data that we just inputted. And as you can see, the pizza purchase is inserted into like the correct date and time slot. And all of the fields on the dashboard are updated accordingly. So as you can see, like the weekly budget with the progress bar, as well as like the graph visualizations that Dylan implemented that can be like toggled. Yeah, so it just gives a general overview of your budget. And we can also add more purchases if we'd like.
Oh,
so
hey, sorry for the interruption. Can we get moving quickly? Sorry, we're on a bit of a time crunch.
Yeah, I guess just to end this really quick. So the last thing we can do is just like you can add multiple purchase to your calendar. And so let's say we did like $100, something like that, just for like another 20 seconds. We could add these in, and we would see them being displayed here. And then that's how you can get your final like recommendations of things like, oh, what's your most expensive category, and you can see how to make like changes based on that, and you get those kind of like different analytical insights, I guess. But yeah, that's basically the other front of our app.
All right, awesome, guys. Yeah, great. Can Streakers Group go next?
Yeah, I'm gonna screen share right now.
Right.
Okay, so basically, what ours is kind of almost very similar to the previous groups. Yeah, it's basically we decided to make a to-do list application for storing different things that you want to have throughout the week. And in terms of technologies we used, I think you guys heard the previous group talk about how they used Firebase. So ours was we decided to just instead of Firebase for the database, we decided to go with a MongoDB, and we use that in like along with Node for our backend server. So that's kind of like what we have going on. And so I guess you can see like we try to sign up. Well, it's gonna like prompt us to like fill out these fields. So we have to go ahead and fill out something. So let's say like, I don't know, test 1, 2, 3, 5. It's something random. And we've signed up, and now we have our dashboard where we have to like input things where that we want to like do. So say like on Monday, I don't know, we have like some essay to turn in on this day. I have that added in, and then you can see obviously like on our dashboard, it's like starting to record things, and then like, I don't know, Saturday, let's say like go do laundry or something like that. Add this. And basically what the whole point of this is, in interest of time, just to like summarize it for you guys, this is just supposed to like record it for you, and then obviously like spit it, like show, it's supposed to make it very easy for everyone to record what they're doing. And then obviously you can go through all these things, select whether it's like active, complete, or even delete it if you want. So you can delete these things. And yeah, so it's just supposed to be a neat, convenient feature for you to go back and log in and check out whatever you have to complete.
Really cool to see, guys. Are there any other
Yeah.
curriculum students that are
Oh yeah.
currently here?
Last one, could Vibub's team go?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Is there ways to share all your screen? Okay. Let's do this. All right. So this was my project and one of my partners. And basically it was like a personal dashboard, which we used MERNstack to build it. So it was MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. So, we just had like a quick about page, which, we take basically data from the backend and basically use a fetch request to bring it to the front end. Then like another contact page. We used API calls to get COVID statistics. And then for example, pulling the weather as well. And then the top 50 news articles, and then, you can click one and it goes to the link as well. And then just like everyone else, we also had a to-do list. So for example, if I register with, and then just have a password, you can just add in tasks. So to do 1, add, to do 2, and then you can like check things off and it'll disappear and it'll be in your completed tab and you can log out like that. So yeah, that was our project.
All right, awesome guys, super cool. It was really nice seeing your projects. Is there anyone else I missed? Right. Yeah, I believe that's it. So again, the curriculum students put in a lot of work over the semester, just learning all the material and then incorporating it into their projects. So great work, guys. So now we're gonna move on. Yeah.
So we'll move on now to the recruitment side of things. Let me share my screen again so you can see the presentation. And hold on, and present. All right, so moving on to the recruitment side, I'll pass things over to Rithvik. He's gonna go over the whole recruitment process, how you guys get into the club, and how the whole process is gonna work, and try to lay it out for you to make it a bit clearer.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Nish. I'm gonna try to speed things through, but recruitment is extremely important, and we want to make sure that you guys are as comfortable with our process as possible. So please, please, please ask questions in the chat. We have people who are going to be answering those questions, and I'll do my best to kind of go over everything in as comprehensive a manner as possible. So just to preface everything, one of the main reasons we founded Plextex was to be able to reduce the toxicity and stress associated with consulting club recruitment process. What we realized is, yes, recruitment will be competitive, but there are so many ways to get to know a candidate beyond their resume, right? Like what we like to say is people, not like resumes or postings, right? So that's why our recruitment process is so centered around getting to know you as an individual and actually getting to know you face to face, becoming your friend throughout the process. So with that, let me get started. This recruitment cycle, we're going to be recruiting for two main positions, the project developer and curriculum student positions. We've already talked about those positions, but just to give you a brief overview, our project developers are going to be on our industry track, working with one of our 4 clients this semester: Intern Pursuit, Thrift, Central, and Intellects. And all the PMs have kind of talked about those projects. Really, really excited. And we're going to get a lot of mentorship and a lot of cool support with those projects as well. So if you'd like to be a project developer for those projects, definitely indicate that in your application. If you're not too sure, don't worry about being kind of holed in to one role. That said, we do expect a higher level of experience with project developers as opposed to incoming curriculum students, but we can get all of it. So if you're really worried, put yourself down as a curriculum student, and then like during tea time kind of bring up that you would really want to be considered for a project developer as well. For our curriculum students, one of our main kind of like selling points is that we're open to anyone, regardless of your experience level, your major, whatever it is. As long as you have a passion for learning and an interest in learning what we're kind of talking about, then we'd be happy to have you as a curriculum student and happy to have you join our family. So you already heard about the projects. It's a really cool experience. We're opening up our ML data science track this semester to really fast track you on those skills. So really encourage you to apply. So let's actually go to our next slide right now and start talking a little bit more about the timeline for our process. So you've already made it. Hey, welcome to info session number 2. The purpose in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a pretty brief kind of overview of how to crack and ace our recruitment process. Not really, because you don't really have to study it, but the fact that you're here is a huge plus. Applications will be due on Friday the 29th at 11:59 p.m. We have a really cool portal to make this really easy for you. And the application is literally a 5-minute resume drop. I say 5 minutes because actually it's probably less than that, right? If you have your resume, upload your resume and submit it. We have an optional why Plextex question for you if you want to answer it. It just gives us a little bit more context as to what you love about our club. But we made this portal for you and to facilitate this process to make it as quick and efficient for you as possible. And it handles scheduling and all that stuff too. So it takes 5 seconds, upload your resume and apply. And we'll see you there. I'm really excited for that. The second stage of our application process is tea time. We hate coffee chats. We're all about tea time. The purpose of tea time, I'll talk about this a little bit later, is for us to get to know you a little bit better, and for you to get to know our club and what it's about, what it's like at our club a little bit more as well. This is a perfect place for you to ask questions about our club, what it's like, what different roles are going to entail. And it's also our opportunity to get to know you on a little bit more of a personal level, like I said. No need to prepare. This is super informal. Think of it as just getting to know another person who might become a lifelong friend in the club. So it's pretty chill. Don't worry about it. Then we're going to have Meet Plextex for those who move on, and you'll be seeing a lot of the faces you're seeing here, plus all the people who aren't there. Really see what the people are like, and why it's so great to join our family. We really, really value our community here, so you'll really get to see that during the Meet Plextex. If you haven't already seen that in our chat box below. Next, and this is only for industry developers. For prospective industry developers, we're going to have a technical interview, but it's actually going to be like pretty low key, no preparation, or even if there is some preparation necessary, we're going to send you all the steps beforehand, really support you throughout the process. And you can use your tea time interviewer as a resource to ask for advice and any level of support there that you want. So we're trying to make this as low stress as possible. So, you come in and you're ready to go and we eliminate all the toxicity. So let's go to the next slide and I'll talk to you a little bit about what tea time will entail, because every single person who's applying to the club who moves on to tea time, regardless of like their role preference, will have a tea time. So let's move on to the next slide. So tea times are meant to be an informal conversation, like I said, for you to ask some questions to us and also for us to get to know you a little bit better. Tea times, regardless of the role, if you're applying to curriculum student or project developer, tea times will across the board be 40 minutes long and will consist of some questions to gauge your interest in Plextech. And then for prospective industry developers, a breakdown of one of your favorite technical projects that you've worked on. This is going to be really kind of like chill, low key. But since you're here, let me give you some advice, because we already know what we're going to be asking you guys. And obviously, like, it's going to be like a free-flowing conversation. So wherever the conversation leads, we don't have like a script or anything. But here are the main things that you should expect, and you will definitely be asked during tea time. You're definitely going to be asked why you want to join Plextech. What you think we're about, what really compels to you, and why why you want to join us. So that's definitely something to think about. And then we're going to be asking you, if you're a curriculum student, why you're interested in the curriculum kind of program, what you hope to gain out of it, what your passion for learning is, things like that. Again, nothing to prepare, just things to kind of like expect. And then if you're an industry developer, we might be asking you about, like a favorite project you've worked on. Just really tell us about that project. And as long as you're passionate about it and, you're able to really walk us through like what you've done, just like these curriculum students did today, then you're pretty much set. So that's basically what you can expect for the tea time. Like I said, really low key, stress free, pretty good way to kind of like ease your way into like our club. So I definitely really like the tea time system. So let's move on to the next slide. That about covers like our recruitment process. It's really simple, not too much preparation involved. So you don't need to spend too much time kind of going over all the logistics, because I literally told you everything. That's how simple it is. So moving on to socials. This is perhaps my favorite and probably like the most important aspect of our club. We have so much to offer as a club, right? From the industry track to the curriculum track to our mentorship, professional development, networking, like stuff to put on your resume for your jobs, connections in the industry, everything we offer. But I think maybe the most important part is we're a club, right? So our social aspect, our community is probably the most important aspect to us. So even though, it's a virtual semester, I think we've done a lot as a club to make sure that we, kind of give you the, the culture that you're looking for, to be part of like an environment where you can say that the other members in your club are like your second family. I think, a lot of people throw that around, but we take that pretty seriously. And, we've done a lot of things to kind of make sure that you get really, really close with your people. My Plextech, other Plexies, the other people in the club have become some of my closest friends at Cal, and I've made countless memories. We have a lot of different systems in place. We have coffee chats. We have weekly socials called Plex chats. We have Plex days, and that'll be happening once every other week, where we're going to have people around the industry come to talk to us. We're going to have speaker panels. We're going to have socials, club-wide socials, stuff like that. Every single project team will have socials like once a week at least. You're going to be meeting with your people in your project once or twice a week. So you're really going to get to know them on a personal level. We have study groups. We have a big little mentorship system. So if you're new to the club, you kind of come in, you'll have a mentor that you can kind of access for the rest of your college career. They can give you advice, tips on literally anything. And it's been a really, really cool system. I've made a lot of connections with my littles from last semester. Some of them are even in this call today. So go Team Rithvik. Honestly, this is literally like my favorite part of the club. I could go on and on about how amazing or like how much we've put into like our social community, right? So if you're looking for like a spontaneous movie nights, or maybe more structured socials with your team members, or if you're in the curriculum track with your curriculum members, happy hours, everything, we've got that. So let's move on to the next slide. It talks a little bit more about our Plex days, which I said every other Thursday at 7 p.m. That's kind of open to change, but that's basically a time where like every other week our whole club gets together and we kind of do whatever we want, whether it's like industry networking, professional like lectures, or like socials. And then we're gonna have coffee chats and like weekly socials across the board as well for whoever wants to join. So that's it for the socials. Like definitely like ask us if you have any questions, but I just wanted to run through some quick FAQs and then we're open to questions.
Yeah, so
if you'd move to the next slide if possible. I'll run through these really quickly. Or you can take them?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so for FAQs, for starters, what if you're not a coder or super experienced? Well, that honestly doesn't matter. We have our curriculum path set in stone just for you guys. As well as that, if you want to go into industry, we have industry mentors coming in to help you throughout the whole process of software development as you go through our client projects. So you want
different types of support for you guys going into this. In addition, how does integration into Plextex work? So basically after this application process, we'll have a welcome night, we'll have a fun social during welcome night. And then throughout the week, throughout the semester, we'll have a bunch of Plex chats, Plex days for you guys to connect with industry professionals and anything as that. We'll talk about that more as you guys get throughout the recruitment process too. And then I guess the big question is why Plextech and what makes us stand out from other clubs? Because there are definitely clubs at Berkeley that are similar to Plextech in the way we all operate. We all have the same mission in mind, which is to give any Berkeley student the opportunity to grow and develop as a software engineer before they make impacts in industry. But that being said, we do have a few key differentiators that make Plextech stick out within all the other tech consulting orgs. For starters, our community and member involvement is really present. Like you can see in the chat itself today that we have a lot of focus on hyping each other up, supporting each other through anything, and talking with each other about honestly anything you want to talk about. And in addition to this, one of the primary focuses of Plextech is member development, as opposed to just making our clients feel happy. Our curriculum pathway is set in stone so that any student majoring in any field can get a comprehensive introduction into software development. I honestly believe that software is like our future. Any major, any field can integrate software to make greater research findings or even efficient pathways. Our curriculum pathway is great for any freshman to senior, any major, honestly, who has a genuine interest in exploring software and how they can make their own hobbies better and more impactful with software. And in addition to this, we also make all our clients, like we said, give 1 to 2 industry mentors who support you throughout your industry pathway. This way, these mentors can prepare you for any internships or full-time positions you may go through in the future, since they have firsthand experience in the process. And finally, the broad mission for Plextech is social impact, and this sticks us out from the rest. You'll see that as soon as you load our website, we boldly claim impact through technology. And honestly, as you've witnessed, 2020 has been filled with social justice issues that have impacted every single human being. We try to aim to fight these social justice issues through technology, and we try to have at least one client that focuses on a relevant social justice issue each semester. And then on top of this, every year we host Plex Hacks, a summer bootcamp and hackathon focused on giving students across America the platform to develop these social justice projects. Last semester, we had about 115 students, and we had guest speakers such as Professor De Niro talk about issues that shine light on the social justice. If you're interested in hosting a hackathon, developing connections with professors or industry professionals, or are even interested in braining ways to make a genuine impact on our world, definitely apply to Plextech. That's like my general, I guess, spiel of what sticks us out from the rest. And then how do you best prepare yourself for the recruitment process? In all honesty, we don't want you to prepare. We truly believe that clubs shouldn't be as ultra competitive as they are right now at Berkeley, because you've already gone through the college application process. We don't want you to go through that all over again just to apply to clubs you're interested in. That's why we promote our stress-free application process. All you really need to do is drop your resume, maybe add a few sentences about your passion in the miscellaneous section, because we want to see the person behind the resume. We want to go to a tea time with you, talk about your passions, talk about your hobbies, just so we can get to know you better rather than getting to know you through some fake short answer responses that other clubs may ask for. And because of this, you honestly don't need to prepare for our application tea times if you're truly talking about yourself. And honestly, for the last question, this is that simple because all you have to do is drop your application. Someone can put the application link in the chat right now. And yeah, we look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you for coming out. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Pranay. That was really awesome to hear at the end. As you can see right here, if you have any questions, there's our email, there's our website. You can look over there. Our application link, I believe, is also on the website, and I think Akshat just dropped it in the chat, or is about to if he hasn't already. I think he did. Nice. So you can go and check that out too. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of our, I guess, our official like info session time. Thank you for coming out. Yeah, and if you have any questions right now, you can either feel free to unmute or just drop your question in the chat. You have people answering them. I know people have been asking questions already during the presentation, but just continue going on with that.